What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Akeem. Today we're going to be talking about the Redcat Kaiju, some of the pros and cons, and is this vehicle worth your money? So moving right into it guys, we're going to talk about the cons of this vehicle first. I like to get that out of the way, then we're going to talk about the pros. First con I think, which is the biggest one, is the servo horn. The servo horn that they put on here is plastic. It's not the best choice. It's a pretty powerful servo. I think it's a 25 grams. It's a pretty powerful servo paired with a plastic servo horn. Those two combinations just don't work out well. If you look at these wheels are really big, and this vehicle is, it's decently heavy, but you put a plastic servo horn in there with that powerful servo, it's just gonna grind all that gear out inside. So now this is a relatively simple fix guys. It's probably like $6-7 for like, I don't know if you want to go on the cheap end, you can get like, I don't know, 4 of them I think I got on Amazon. But I just pretty much get most of my stuff on Amazon whenever I can, especially in these times because no stores are open right now here in New York. But pretty much servo horns are cheap, but if you're going pretty fast with this vehicle and your servo gives out, it could be a pretty bad day. You could still brake, but if you're like coming up to a wall and you don't know that your servo is, messed up and you're trying to do some kind of stunt or something, you could end up slamming into the front of the vehicle. The vehicle probably, I don't know. A lot of bad things could go wrong. Next negative for me, again, the servo horn being made out of the cheap plastic, is the rest of the body. It's pretty cheaply made in terms of the type of plastic that they use. It's not the best, like something compared to Traxxas or the Arma plastic that they use. I don't know how they mold it. I don't know what they do, injection molding, whatever it is. But those plastics definitely seem to be better, just from looks and feel and actual real world testing. I haven't really broken many parts on this. I've broken these body posts right here, and that's pretty much it. Nothing else major. But even though they're cheap, they seem to hold up, but I would just prefer to see some kind of higher quality plastic. I get it. The price you're paying for this vehicle, what else? Like, you can't expect the best materials out there. Moving on to the next one, guys. The next con for this vehicle is actually the chassis width. Chassis width on this vehicle, they market this as a 1/8 scale. This is definitely not a 1/8 scale. Here you see me comparing it to my Traxxas Max. It's the same, if not a little bit shorter, chassis length than that vehicle. It's also really narrow, and it has a high center of gravity. That's a combination for a lot of flips. If you're new to the hobby world, or if you're a little more experienced, maybe based on some of the vehicles you've had, the Traxxas Max is a perfect example. Even with the Wide Max kit, that vehicle is it still flips a lot. It's quite a lot lower than this, probably like 2 inches lower, maybe an inch or so lower than this vehicle. And that one flips even with the Wide Max kit. So you can imagine how this one is. Coupled with these big tires, really grippy tires, awesome tires. I'll talk about that in the pros. The tires are definitely not a negative, but just a combination of the different parts that they use for this vehicle, I think kind of hinders its performance overall. If this vehicle is a little longer chassis, more like that 1/8 scale that they say it is, again, I don't think this is a 1/8 scale. I think this is definitely more of a 1/10 scale vehicle. I would definitely say that it would be a better vehicle if it was just a little bit longer, maybe a little bit wider, and a little bit lower to the ground. Or if you want to keep the same height, that's fine, but just make it, at least have an option available from Redcat that, kind of has that wide extension kit. I don't know what you'd call it, wide Kaiju, sure. Let's go with that. If you had a wide Kaiju kit for this vehicle, I think it'll make it a lot better. The vehicle does not come with sway bars. I wish it did. Maybe that'll help a little bit. This vehicle, again, it's a flip beast. Next negative I'm going to add for this vehicle, some of you guys, I'm sure you're not going to agree with me, but first of all, let me just tell you what it is. It's the power of the vehicle. I'm going to say this vehicle would have been ideal as a 4S, again, for the wheelbase and just the overall length of this chassis. I see it running better as a 4S. I don't actually have video of me running it on 4S. I definitely do have video of me running it on 6S. It's a beast. It's a beast. Standing backflips, no problem. You just, from standstill, hit the throttle full speed, it's going to do a standing backflip. 95% of the time it lands on the wheels. That's pretty cool. Nice little trick to do. Looks pretty cool. It's pretty easy to do, and that's nice. But what happens is, when you get up to speed and you're trying to You know, you definitely need some throttle control, and it's a manageable vehicle, but you cannot give this full throttle on 6S. It's just not going to happen. The vehicle's going to want to wheelie. Maybe if you, again, if you lower this wheelie bar, the wheelie bar in the back is adjustable. I think that this right here is just a little too high for this vehicle with the power. It's just going to cause it to tip over and flip and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Again, just maybe make the wheelie bar a little lower, and that'll help on the high speed runs. But I just feel like it's too much power for this vehicle, and I never really see myself fully maximizing the true potential of this vehicle. Again, because you're limited by how fast you can go because of that wheelbase and that chassis. I mean, listing power as a negative, I almost never do that. More power, more power. I always want more power. But I don't think that the components used to make this vehicle can handle that amount of power. And it's just overall design is not ideal for 6S. It's not really negative, but sure, if you want to call it, I'm just going to throw it in negative because of the combination. It is rated as a 6S vehicle, so that's what I'm judging it based off of. I shouldn't have to lower the power or lower the battery to, you know, try to get a better ride. If you say it's a 6S vehicle, it should be performing optimally at that 6S level. And this vehicle, though it's powerful, it's not fully enjoyable at 6S in terms of just the handling. That's it for negatives, guys. Again, not a deal breaker in any means. I think the pros definitely outshine the negatives. So let's just move right into the pros. First pro, definitely these tires. I talked about it before. I love these tires. I love this wheel. Just the overall design, the tread pattern, really nice, really unique, beefy looking, very grippy. And they don't seem to be that cheap. Like, I've put this vehicle through its paces, and I'll tell you what, I haven't messed up one tire on this vehicle, whereas comparatively on my Max, I've probably went through about 5 or 6 tires already. That's a combination of just the vehicle being upside down and using the self-riding feature, and that seems to just blow the tires out, I guess because there's no traction and there's no weight on those tires, and they're just ballooning excessively. But these tires, they do balloon. They definitely do balloon, but it's not like crazy. Like it's manageable. Next pro is the servo and the ESC on this vehicle. I've driven this vehicle through water, mud. As you can see, it's pretty messy right now. I haven't had a chance to clean my vehicles. I haven't had a chance to pay attention to my RCs like I should have. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But yeah, it's just this vehicle needs to be cleaned. It hasn't been cleaned. I don't think it's ever been cleaned since I got it. So yeah, it's very durable. But just to show you, I mean, it's not the dirtiest vehicle, but it's not like clean either. But this vehicle again went through water, mud. I haven't cleaned it. The ESC is still running fine. Don't do that. Make sure you clean your vehicles, guys. ESC is running fine. The motor is running fine. Everything is just good on this vehicle. Another pro, the receiver. Everything again is pretty standard. I didn't change anything out on this vehicle. Everything still performs just as the day I bought it. No major breaks, but definitely the radio is good. Goes pretty far away. I haven't actually measured it, but the vehicle goes to where I can't even see it anymore. And that leads me into the next pro, which are lights. This vehicle comes standard with lights on it. They're not the brightest lights. They're not as bright as the Max, for example. I know I keep comparing it to the Max, but I think these two vehicles are pretty comparable in terms of speed and everything like that. This one, of course, being significantly cheaper. So I'm just going to say off the back, I think this is a better value than the Max for what you get for the money. Standard lights, front and rear. The front are like white LED lights. The back are red LED lights. Kind of helps you with orientation. When the vehicle is really far away, that helps me to know the orientation of the vehicle. Am I coming towards me or am I going away? That's really nice. I'm happy that they included their standard, especially for that price point. I personally don't like having to mod my vehicle and add lights to it. I haven't been able to find a nice, neat way to do it where I could take the body off and not have to worry about any kind of wires. I like that clean kind of setup. This is really cool that they integrated it in there. Again, the lights, major plus. Next thing I'm gonna say is, I know I kind of listed this on the negatives, but it's the plastics on this vehicle. Even though it's cheap and it definitely deserves to be a negative, I haven't had any breaks. And I mean, I've flipped this vehicle. I've done flips off of walls. Like, I've done all kind of crazy stuff off of hills, mountains, whatever you want to call it. This vehicle just seems to take it and it doesn't break. Maybe it's because of how cheap the plastic is. Maybe it's because it's so flexible. Like you can see this bumper is just super flexible. All the plastics, it bends. Typically, you know, obviously you prefer something to bend rather than stay rigid, because eventually it's going to reach that breaking point. The shocks are good. Again, I'm not a RC pro, but for me, this is, the shocks on this thing is incredible. I love it. Overall, this vehicle is great. I mean, I know Redcat as a company has had a kind of a cloudy past. A lot of people don't like them these days. Like, for example, when I try to pick this up at my local hobby shop, they were trying to push me away from this vehicle. They were telling me, oh, don't worry, Redcat, you know them, they have a history, blah, 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 yada, yada. Listen, if you listen to these people in the RC stores, I don't know if they have an agenda, if they're trying to push a certain brand or whatever it is. This vehicle is not sponsored by anybody. I'm just telling you that's my honest review. Redcat as a company, I see no problems with them. Yeah, they use cheap materials every now and again, but the vehicles are competitively priced compared to the higher end models. Again, this is a 6S vehicle for $399. I'm sure you could probably get a deal out there for even cheaper, but listen, you can't beat this price. That's pretty much going to cover it, guys. Thanks for watching. Real quick, I just want to comment on, I mean, it's been like 3 months since my last video. I did promise I'm going to make a video once a week. I'm going to try to do that. But pretty much what ended up happening to me, the reason why I've been gone, I was in a pretty bad motorcycle accident. I had a brand new 2018 Yamaha R6. Thank God I was wearing all my gear. I'm going to make a video on that later. I'm also going to start talking about some motorcycle stuff. I love motorcycling. I have like 3 motorcycles. I have like 4 in the garage right now. But yeah, we're going to talk about that in another video. But I just want to let you guys know as to why I haven't been releasing videos as much. But I'm definitely going to get back into it, guys. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you guys want to see, what your favorite topic is, whatever it is. Whatever you want me to review next, just let me know. Leave it down in the comments, and I'll try to get my hands on those vehicles. Or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be vehicles. I mean, this channel is Archer Tech. We cover technology. It's everything tech. I know so far I've only released RC cars, but I review anything, you know what I'm saying? Just let me know and I'll get my hands on it for you guys, and I'll try to get an honest review of those products. Yeah, guys, so as usual, just like, comment, subscribe. I know there's been a problem with hitting the bell notification. It all started when I created my account. Comment down below. You guys are awesome with the commenting. Appreciate it so much. Just started the channel a couple months ago, and I know I only have a few videos, but thank you guys for subscribing. And again, if you're not subscribed, kindly hit that subscribe button.